Coming up, there will be lots of action-packed content as well as cosplays and an interview with the creator of Awali Comics, Ziyaad, to talk more about South Africa's first Afro-Manga as well as anime and his life story, how he came to make comics, so stay tuned.
Thank you very much.
Something happening.
Hey! Oh, hey! Hey! Hey!
The bow doesn't get drawn in Japan, it is spread. And the next aspect is called hikiwake, the drawing apart. See how the arrow still remains absolutely horizontal. Now he's in kai, which is the full draw. And this full draw is where the shooting process occurs by expansion. He does not release the arrow. The arrow is released through the expansion itself. And that is called hanare, the release. Hanare is the departure. And in this position, we are on the 8th stage. This is called zanshin. And zanshin is the remaining spirit. And all that happens at this stage is the teacher examines the student, and you can determine from that zanshin position exactly what his shooting level was all about and whether he made 40 or 50 mistakes. 40 or 50 mistakes are the usual mistakes numbers that occur on that 8 stages of shooting. It takes 60, 70 years to master Kyūdō.
Hello.
Hello.
Right? Hajime. Hey! Yo! Hajime.
In second place, Amanita cosplay as Misty from Pokemon. Congratulations. Ooh. In first place, can I get a drum roll, please? We have Amy as son from Princess Mononoke. Well done. That's not the end. We've got the Cosplay Parade happening now. So everyone who's dressed up in cosplay, even in the crowd, you're welcome to join us. We'll be parading through the event grounds and then we'll end up back here. So please join us and have some fun with us. Thank you. Here we go. Please support our cosplayers.
Oh my god, best stick ever.
I'm fat
So we're going to have a draw, and the draw is Alina. What's it? Komse Alina. Is there Alina here? Unfortunately, you have to be here. Is there Alina here? Your cell phone number is anybody here? No, nothing. Okay. Brett Natras.
You didn't do it on purpose.
Brett Natras, I think if you here or your wife is here. Not here. Okay. Right, next person will be Patrick for the Pfeiffer. Are they? Patrick. Thursday, congratulations. Can we get a photograph? I don't know if the photographer.
How was it, Carmen?
It was really nice, really exciting.
Might have to speak louder for the mic, but oh wait.
Really nice and really exciting.
What was your favorite part?
Sushi, I haven't even had it yet. Okay, no, my favorite part, watching the demonstrations, seeing the karate and the,
Sorry, my camera was blocking.
oh no, my favorite part was when Patrick got the camera.
What
was
was
really
your favorite part?
The demonstrations, the karate, I can't remember what the fighting's called, but the sword fighting. What was before that? Oh, and bow and arrows, the archery. That was really cool.
Cool.
Patrick, what was your favorite part?
The bonsais were pretty cool. But I don't know, it's hard to pick. Meeting the consul, Mr. Katamoto.
I didn't even think about that, definitely.
I mean, this was pretty cool, but I don't know, it's all cool.
And the cosplay. Seeing so many people doing cosplay in the same space is nice. I haven't experienced that before.
Are we?
Are we?
If your people were taken from you, what would you do to get them back? This is the premise of Siri Watu, a story that follows Diallo, Ayanda, Senzo and Zita as they discover they might be part of a secret group of people that went silent and disappeared into exile long ago by a quirky old man bent on turning them into who he believes them to be, the Siri Watu. Most people know me as Awali, and I'm the creator of Siri Watu. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just want to get close up. Is there anything else you want to say?
Have love for your parents. There we go.
So after this, when I got home, I ended up messaging Ziyaad on Instagram, and eventually I told him, listen, I want to start doing interviews and things. It's something I've thought about before. Can I interview you? So we set it up, and this is that.
Also, I don't think I've said thank you yet. Thank you so much.
I mean, thank you for having me on this
new thing of yours is exciting. Hi, I'm Awali. I'm Ziyaad. Most people know me by Awali, which is kind of my artist pseudo name, I guess. I'm the character of Siri Watu, South Africa's first Afro-Manga. And yeah, that's kind of who I am. Historian, mangaka, yeah, manga creator, I guess. Yeah.
I would call you a creator.
Yeah, I don't really know how to classify myself. I do film stuff, short videos as well. I used to do editing for another YouTube friend of mine. But my main focus is the book Siri Watu, and I've done one or two short films, one particularly, and I don't remember if I ever released any. Do you call an animation a short film?
I think animation can definitely be a short film, and I actually wanted to ask about that. Is there anywhere that I can watch that online?
So there's two animations currently that we did. The one we did a few years ago, which is the 3D animation. I sort of directed that and did some character development on that. I cut the shots and I edited that as well. That one is currently on my YouTube channel. It's season 0, South Africa or African animation concept, something like that, which is not Siri Watu, but one of the characters, the pre-version of one of the characters is in that, and it's just like a fight scene to show off what we wanted Siri Watu to be.
And what about the short film that you did called Interview with Auntie Anthea?
Doesn't really have anything to do with Siri Watu, but it was I got an opportunity to have that film be played in cinema. I think it's called the Labia Cinema.
Yes.
I can't remember. And so that film played in there, and then like 1 or 2 places in Joburg, and then maybe I think it went international as well. So it was like a very small sort of indie film that went around. I have no idea where that film is. It's somewhere online, I think. I'm not sure. I should have a copy somewhere.
I have a question about specifically about Siri Watu, which is like more of a personal question. But you included their birthdays. Do their birthdays have any significance?
So I remember when I made their birthdays, they were there for specific reasons. Some of them is just personal. Like when I say personal, I mean like family members or friends that I thought was really cool, and I just put their birthdays and sort of an homage to them. But I can't remember why. I just remember when I was thinking about all of these things, I was also taking into account some historical figures. I was taking into account some very influential people in my life when I was writing their books. And I have a massive Bible, but it's all over the place. And I wrote it somewhere and I have no idea where I wrote it. I have to compile all my notes somewhere to really give you that answer. So they do have a significance. I just can't remember why.
I see it. I really appreciate and I admire the way how you combined like history and illustration and is it recording? No, writing. The way how you took those things, specifically the fact that you took your creative side and mixed it with history. And I know that you explained earlier that was sort of through the university and course that happened. But yeah, where did your love for writing and your creative side start? And also, where did you wanting to study history come from?
I can say where my love for sort of anime and manga and cartoons and those type of things came from. It pretty much started with things like, I remember Medabot was also one of the anime.
Medabot.
Very important when I mentioned Medabot. It was like Digimon, Pokemon, Medabots, and I don't know if you know what Medabots is. It's basically like Digimon or Pokemon, but they use robots instead, and it was very funny. When I was a kid, I can't remember how fun it is now because I haven't watched it in like decades. When I was in grade A, sub B, grade 1 or 2, Medabot was a thing, and I used to draw these Medabot robots based on the characters in the anime, and I used to play like fake Medabot battles with the other boys in the classroom. So much so that we would actually get into real fights. We were kids, and it wasn't really fights. We were just pulling each other around and afterwards, but it was very funny. So at that point, I already loved drawing and wanting to be an artist. The reason why was because my uncle, my eldest uncle, not my eldest uncle, one of my uncles, he was heavily into wanting to be a graphic designer, and he constantly used to draw characters, and I used to see his characters, and I sometimes would maybe mess them up by trying to draw over them, which was not a good idea because those were for his interviews for graphic design. But I don't even remember that. So I fell in love with drawing because of him. And then he showed me that the things that I could see on TV, I could potentially draw myself. And so from grade 1, grade 2, I was already really trying to draw cartoons and loving to draw cartoons. And I had made a very bold statement when I was in grade 1 and grade 2, which is I want to make cartoons one day. I didn't know what that meant, but that's what I told other kids when they asked me, what are you going to do when you're growing up? Everyone was saying doctors, firemen, superheroes, whatever they want to say. But I was saying I wanted to do cartoons because I found it so fascinating. And my uncle had shown me that it's possible to just draw a figure and make it look like a cartoon. I didn't know that in my brain at the time. Then skip a few years ahead, in high school I was still drawing. I was constantly drawing. I was that kid that was falling asleep in class and in drawing also during the day. I have no idea where I got time for school, but that's what I was doing. I was drawing. And then when university came along, I pretty much was always wanting to do animation. And when I was 18, that's when we started with the 3D animation that's currently on my YouTube channel. We finished it within about 2 to 3 years. I started when I was 17. We finished when I was about 19, 18. I'm wonky with the time because it happened so long ago. But during that time, I believed in myself that we're going to make this animation. I'm going to make an animation. And so I studied an arts degree because I thought that's what I'm supposed to do. I want to be an artist, so I need to start an arts degree. Not fine arts. I didn't know the difference at the time, so I studied arts. I did a bachelor in arts. And obviously now this has to do with writing. So I learned about, as I'm going through my undergrad, I'm starting to learn about South African history. I'm starting to learn more about what happened in the world around me. And obviously there are things that I knew already, but I just thought of it as every other student, it's like kind of there. It's not something that's just engaging or interesting, it's just there. But when I had to sort of look into it myself, I had to do a little bit more research, and I started finding pieces of history here and there that really fascinated me. I knew with what I wanted to do with Siri Watu that what I'm learning in university is extremely compelling, and by combining this love for art and this like anime art specifically, and this new engagement with history, I ended up merging the two, or merging the two became sort of a natural thing to me. And then when I was writing Siri Watu further along, I realized that what I was sort of specializing in when it came to history, which was the disappearance between 1960 and 1980s, and some of the things that happened like 400 years ago, even maybe before that. All of this was starting to echo some sentiments within my writing of Siri Watu. And then what sort of solidified it was I didn't realize that some of my family had also gone through some of the very things that I'm writing about in history. I didn't know that. It was like, it was spoken about. It was again there, you know, when people have like this, family always have stories and histories to tell. But you never think about how cool, I wouldn't use the word cool, how interesting or how relevant it is until you really sit down and talk to them and ask them what it's about. Because when people are writing stories about those that were disappeared or taken by the secret police and all of that kind of things, then you realize that happened to your uncle. It kind of changes the way that your relationship with history and the way that you end up talking about or creating stories for things like your anime and your story. You realize that we have so much lore and so much mythology and so much real history in South Africa that we can draw upon to create our own works of fiction, which Siri Watu is. It's not a historical novel. I'm not here to lecture you. I'm here to entertain you. I'm here for you to have fun. And if you happen to learn something about South Africa, that's awesome.
Okay. Well, this meeting time is almost up. So I want to sort of open up the floor if there's anything you want to say, or I don't know, anything.
Okay. Thank you so much. Well, firstly, I enjoyed this
interview. I hope you can edit it down to something useful. I know I blabbered on a lot, and I'm so sorry, because I know this is maybe interesting to do, but it's the editing that's going to be crazy, especially if you want to cut it down for people. I've been there, I've been on the other side. I'm so sorry to do that to you.
No, it's me, but yeah.
If you can, okay, my name is Awali. I'm South Africa's very first Afro-Manga, I think. And you can join me, you can get the books. I don't know if there's going to be links below. You can follow me on my own socials to get the links. Everything is Awali Comics. And keep an eye out if this interview comes out before then for the animation that we're going to do that we did on my YouTube channel. And I'm openly telling everyone that if you want to share it, it's completely okay. I would be super happy if someone took the animation and put it on their channel themselves.
I would love to.
Just kind of link back to my YouTube channel somehow, or link back to one of my socials. That'd be cool. Yeah, and then is volume 3 coming out soon? Probably. Yes, it's up already. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
If you want to watch more of this interview or are just interested in things like anime, manga, South African history, and so forth, then make sure to subscribe to see the future upload where I'll be posting the full interview.